Welcome to the Art of Impactful Self-Promotion, a show where you can learn from industry leaders to find out how they built their expert brands. I'm your host, Crystal Covington, and I'm here with Susanna Campora, one of the most well-known and inspirational women I know. She's built a powerful brand that inspires women to embrace vulnerability and take massive action to improve their lives. She has thousands of followers and fans and hosts monthly events that sell out within days. It's time for you to meet this badass lady. Susanna, welcome to the show.
Hi, Crystal Covington. Thank you so much for asking me to share this with you. It's an honor. I love connecting with you.
Awesome. So I'm so glad to have you. Now, let's start by telling us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
My name is Susanna Campora, as Crystal said, and I am an innovative entrepreneur who saw some wonderful ways that experiences could be really enhanced for women, for the modern day woman. And I found that these things like Real Life Book Club that I created and the Real Life Socials, which is what the events that Crystal was referring to, have really helped women to find their happiness, to experience real connection in their lives and real community. In all of these ways, I've helped women have the courage and a little bit more audacity and also more authenticity in their life so that they can really pursue a life that they've been dreaming about.
I love it. I've been to the Real Life Socials, and they are just an amazing experience of learning about other people, and just it forces you to get into an authentic kind of heart space when you're there. So they're tremendously valuable.
Yes, and I like to say too that it's just a taste of what we experience in Real Life Book Club. And it's an energy that when you refer to the heart space and authentic, these are something new for women. And so sometimes it can be a little intimidating, but I soon find that women, after they warm up, they really take to it and they really love what they see and experience, and they just want more. So it's really exciting to see women kind of ease into it, and then they dive in and their whole life changes because of it.
Beautiful. So what inspired you to choose the niche you're in? I mean, was there a specific instance you remember saying, this is totally what I want to do with my life?
I love this question. I would say it's a series of absolutes, little glimpses and insights that I had over time. And these came about specifically because I was taking action. I was really working on just trying new things with my business and following my own bliss, as well as really listening to the feedback that I was receiving from the women I was working with. And so what started happening was, when it felt right for me and I was feeling really good about what I was doing and how I was giving to others, and they were feeling good and they were experiencing good results, I realized that I was on the right track. And I knew that I was born to do this. And I realized it is a process. It's an unfolding that happens because I kept taking action, because I kept listening to my tribe. And I do see now that my niche, organically, I have discovered it. But of course, as a business owner, you really hone in and you get really specific and really clear. But I would say that my niche are women like me because I created my business for me as much as I did for other women. So my niche are women who are mainly professionals or business owners, and they have full overflowing lives and they, some have families, some don't, but they really do just, they love filling their lives with good things, but they also want to feel good doing it, because so often as modern day American women, we do have all of these wonderful things that we love and beautiful people in our lives, and we have these dreams that, yeah, maybe they're not totally achieved yet, and maybe we're scared of them, but we have dreams and we can make them come true. And we're in America, but it's the how we get to do that. You know, yesterday we saw Tony Robbins live in Denver, and he talked about the art of fulfillment. We can achieve so much in our life, but if we are not truly fulfilled, what is the point of achievement? So I think that's what I really am working on in my own life, in my own business, and I help other women do the same, is how do we enjoy the journey of growth, of connecting with other women, of building a community, and having a thriving business or career. So yeah, women just like me who are on the path of being happy while we're alive. It's really important.
Awesome. I love how you said that you are basically your target customer. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that think that if you become an entrepreneur, you have to serve something, you have to serve other people in a way that maybe you don't connect with. But you chose something that you connect with as well as the people who need you.
Yes, I love that you bring that up. And I mean, I think every business owner is very different. Every business is different. And I think it ultimately goes back to what you're super passionate about. I mean, for me, it's funny because my business is a direct reflection of who I am and who I am being. So, you know, no pressure on me. But I truly am working on embodying my own brand. So when I speak about discovering, owning, and expressing my authenticity and everyone who is participating in my offerings, I'm alongside in the journey just as much as every woman who's participating, and it feels good to be able to share my story and to share my journey and let everyone know that, you know, this is a process and it can be fun and we're in this together and that we need each other. We can't do it alone.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so another thing I want to know. So you have a very strong brand. And I'd love to know early on when you first decided you wanted to start doing this, how did you start building such a powerful reputation as an expert? Was there something initially that you said, this is exactly what I need to do? Or were there little things along the way that just kind of accumulated into this big, massive brand that you have?
Ooh, I love that. So, so as I said before, I was testing different things, trying different things to serve my women and to give them more of what they needed and wanted. And what I started realizing was that I just all of that energy started building up over time. So I'm like, okay, this is so awesome. You know, we're getting more connected with each other. There's this beautiful sense of community. We are really thriving in this safe space, and we all have more courage than we had before. Other areas of our lives are improving because of these experiences that I've created. And so I kind of really worked on the experience of the brand before I actually started, you know, putting structure to it. And even before I came up with a logo, and even before I had a website, I really focused on what are the core values and the core benefits that my niche, my tribe are receiving. And from there, it was a really good foundation for whatever logo I came up with. I mean, you know, the visuals are very important, and I'm actually realizing that now. I think that's one of your questions coming up is, you know, what have I been learning about branding, and what would it maybe I would have done differently? And the website and the copy and the visuals and all of those things are just as important as the energy and the benefits behind the brand. So they do work hand in hand. But ultimately, my brand has worked and it's visible because women are out there talking about their experiences and their amazing growth that they've had through the experiences of Real Life Book Club and Real Life Socials. And that is what it's all about. That really creates a brand. And Crystal, the way that I see that too is it's really trending with what works in the marketplace, which is storytelling, which is transparency, as well as the powerful use and platform of social media. So
Yeah.
I pretty much used Facebook single-handedly to expand my brand and to gain a following and to launch the offerings that I have. Now that there comes a point where that can, you do have to expand. It's just one of the spokes on the wheel of a whole marketing strategy for a brand. But ultimately, Facebook has worked really well because my niche is there, and we have been able to leverage word of mouth and a kind of virtual community and virtual connection, which are values of my brand. So those three things have really, really helped.
Okay, yeah, I think the most impactful thing for me is the fact that you talked about knowing those values and having them in your mind, what values you're trying to portray, and making sure that everything you do always reinforces those values.
Yes, 100%. That the values really come from a deep place in my core too. I mean, these are values and words that really have profound meaning. And I would say so profound that I can trace them back to the importance of them in my youth. And I see them expanding and allowing myself and anything I do in my life with any business or project to embody more of those values. Now, I give myself permission and know that my values can change, or one of those words might turn into a slightly different word. But ultimately, the energy is so profound that it's connected to why I am on this mission to create a company that helps people.
Yeah.
So for me, it's straight back to my heart, what I'm passionate about, and it keeps me going every day, and it keeps me challenged to ensure that I'm also embodying my own brand as a leader and as the founder of this organization. So it's very important, yes.
Good stuff. All right. So you did know that, she had the questions ahead of time. So you do know that I was going to ask you this question. What are some of the major pitfalls that you've seen along the way in creating a strong brand for yourself?
So I would say that one of my strengths is what I'm strong at. And I've realized what those are. I'm a visionary, I am innovative, I am a pioneer, I want to create a movement. And I realize that the pitfalls are thinking that I can do it all. Thinking that I can do it all and thinking that I have everything it takes to single-handedly create what I want to create. So recently I've gone through a shift where I realize that I can't do it alone, and there are some very key pieces in developing this company and this brand that involve the expertise and the guidance and the strengths of other people. So when it comes to a brand, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, I've been learning a lot about marketing industry and the way that all these different people in the marketing industry work. And there's many, many layers. There's many, many things that go into creating a very strong brand. And not all marketing people are created the same. So I have been single-handedly just choosing who I want to work with to further create the brand and really allow myself to shine in the ways that I know how to, and allow others to shine in their genius, to really bring this brand to, I would say, a solid foundation. That's kind of my word for 2000, my mantra for 2016 is creating a solid foundation, because it does take a solid foundation, consistency, and messaging and visuals to really bring a brand to not just to life. I think I've brought it to life, but to sustain it, to
Mm,
mature it, to make it really robust with really deep roots, especially if it's something that you want to grow nationally or internationally. It has to be solid. So this year I'm really working on packaging the brand with other people, surrounding myself with my team. So yeah, for me, my pitfall was, hey, Susanna, we need this information and that information, and the website has to be there in its entirety, nice and clean and buttoned up. And in order to have a website, you got to have solid visuals and copy, and it has to be consistent and nice and pretty. So those are some pieces that I'm working on putting together this year, and I'm not doing it by myself. So that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tony Robbins thing you talked about, a lot of the things that they discussed during the event was team. The power of having an incredible team surrounding you that can help you reach those massive goals.
Yes, totally. Yeah. I can come up with brand ideas all day, but I can talk about values and my big why. But when it comes down to it, to anchor down that energy, I have to have people surrounding me who are different, who are thinking differently than me, who, really complement what I'm about.
Okay. So you hit on this a little bit, but I want to ask you directly, what are some consistent actions you take to maintain that brand reputation?
I love that. So, I talk about Facebook and how word of mouth and storytelling have been really impactful for me to ignite my brand. And so consistency with social media is very important. Anytime I can post something for myself, about myself personally, and then pepper in business, but really it's more so about not just promoting the business, but tying it into everything else I believe, tying it into my values, incorporating other people. But no matter what the posts are, I think just consistently being in front of people, consistently being visible, and sharing myself. So even in person, always sharing my brand, and sharing it in a really authentic, organic way, not the annoying, promotional way, but speaking from my heart. People are really attracted to that, where I'm just real. And if I feel like dropping the F-bomb because I'm super passionate about something that I'm doing, I'm going to do it, Or if I'm going through a hard time in my personal life, I'm going to share it authentically, because that is what my brand is about. So it's really going back to embodying my values, embodying my brand, no matter what I'm doing or where I'm at. And by me doing that, there's a lot of women who believe in the brand and the vision that I have who are doing the same thing. They're looking to me as the leader. Like, what's Susanna doing? I want to do what she's doing. And, oh, look, by her doing that, she's giving me permission to share my story, to show up authentically. And in that process, they give the brand Real Life Book Club credit for that. So that's why there's a lot of buzz around the brand, because we're all consistently sharing it organically from our heart. So that's a beautiful, there's a whole back end process that I could actually break down for anyone who wants to learn how to have a brand that's authentic and really leverages word of mouth. So yeah, so that's always an option. If you ever want to pick my brain, I do consulting work.
Ooh, nice. All right. I was thinking you need a book about that, honey.
I could write some books, yeah. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I'd love to read it. All right. So it sounds like Facebook might be your favorite tool as far as how to get the word out and how to keep in touch with your audience. Is that right?
Yes, Facebook is. It always has been, actually, before my business. I've had a couple other businesses before, and Facebook has worked very well.
Okay, good. Yeah, Facebook sometimes has a bad reputation when it comes to business and branding.
Yeah.
So I love that you are the alternative view and you're using it in a powerful way and it's working for you.
Oh my gosh. So this is something I'm really passionate to. I am so excited about Facebook and all of its capacities to, at the highest level, change the world. I know it. I see it in my own experience with Facebook, and I am now teaching people how they can experience more connection, more positivity, more community, and ultimately impact the world positively through Facebook. And this actually all started because I had a lot of people that would say, oh, I'm off Facebook now, it's horrible, or like, Facebook really brings me down, or I don't get Facebook, or I'm so overwhelmed I get sucked up into it. And I couldn't understand. I was like, I'm a life coach, and so I'm always looking for the deeper meaning, and I'm always looking for the core energy of everything. And I realized that we all use Facebook according to what we're thinking, what our belief systems are. If we're living a life of fear in certain areas, that will show up in the way that we use Facebook. So Megan Conter, who is the mistress of marketing here in Denver, her and I actually have a workshop now. We're actually doing our third workshop March 11th from 1 to 4 here in Denver. And we love what we deliver to our participants because there's nothing out there like it. We literally create mind shifts for people who join the workshop around Facebook so that they can actually start enjoying using it, being fulfilled with it, and seeing really good results. Definitely something different than they've experienced in the past. So I highly recommend that workshop because I truly believe in our ability to help people really enjoy it again and change the world. I'll tell you how to do that. I know that's a big claim, but I've seen it in my own life. Yeah, I've seen lives change because of my interaction and engagement on Facebook.
Yeah, it can be very impactful. I mean, you're really having conversations, you're talking with people, you're sharing. People get kind of deep on Facebook at times. So I can see the value.
Yes, for sure. I've had a lot of people reach out and say, you are helping me so much in my life because of your posts, or they'll reach out and they'll get life coaching and then their life changes from that. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for good and for promoting your business and promoting your story and your mission. People are listening and people are watching.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, very last question. Okay. What is your one great tip that you'd like to share for someone who hasn't yet established a brand for themselves and they really want to get started, but they don't have a clue where to begin?
Ooh, that's a big, juicy question. I would say a good tip is to do what feels really good for you to do. Be the person that you really do want to be now. And in that space, you'll really identify what you're passionate about, what you care about. I would definitely bring your desire to create something in this world, a brand or a business, really bring it to your heart space. Your heart space is where your true authenticity is, and it also is guiding you to what your life purpose is. I think it's so powerful when people establish any type of brand that comes from a very deep place within them, where they have a true commitment to changing the world in their own special way that no one else can do it. I mean, ultimately, I believe that our businesses and our brands are a direct reflection of who we are. And if that's the case, just shine, be yourself, be authentic. Really let go of the boxes that you've put yourself into, and you'll find yourself cultivating a very powerful brand. And everyone wants to see that in the marketplace. Everyone is hungry for realness and for authenticity. So let's bring it on. What do you got? I want to see more like true, authentic women out there who are happy and doing great things in the world. So that's my tip.
Awesome. That is an amazing tip for all of you out there. Oh my God, just creating your vision on your own personal values, what really matters to you, it makes such a huge difference. I've actually, one of the things that I have struggled with is battling my own needs and desires versus what I think other people want me to do or think I should do. And I know that lots of people struggle with that.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's the human experience. And how do we bust through those blocks and all of the conditioning that we've had as we've grown up or in our society or in our own minds? I mean, a lot of what we think and believe are coming from people and things outside of us. So yeah, how can we really tap into our own power, our own creativity that is uniquely ours? And I will tell you this, you will be totally distinguished from any other business and any other brand if you are just being you. The world needs you, and it feels so much better for you as well. Feel free and happy and light, and others want it. So awesome. I love that we're on the same page, Crystal.
Yes. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Susanna, for
You're
sharing
welcome.
so freely and so authentically. I'm
Yay.
sure, yeah, I'm sure so many people can benefit from the info you've just shared.
I hope so. And I do trust that everyone who is supposed to be attracted to my brand will be there and be ready to show up and have a lot of fun with me. So thank you for this honor, this opportunity to share everything with you, Crystal, and spending time with you. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you so much, Susanna. And for you, the viewer, if you'd like to learn more about Real Life Book Club, I want you to visit reallifebookclub.com and get on her mailing list. I need you to do it right now because I know you want to.
Yeah, the mailing list will have all information. Our website's coming, launching soon. It's going to be beautiful, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, yes, get all the information through our newsletters that come out frequently. New book clubs coming up, new socials coming up. There's always something to plug into.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And always remember, you deserve to be seen, heard, and known. I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Crystal.